moving down to the next part of the page, we have 21 locations. As you watch this, we may have 22, 25, 27. We've got a bunch of things in the hopper here we'll probably announce here shortly. Right now we're taping this in March 2020. So this is an ever-changing goal with us because we're growing like a weed. I think weed sounds bad. Growing like a beautiful flower. How about that? Growing like a weed is a really ugly term. Right now we have 5 locations in Maryland and 16 in Virginia. We're working in D.C. and some other places will be our next places up. Why so much brick and mortar? Well, first of all, if you join Samson Properties and say you're a member of the Samson Properties Gainesville office or whatever, you're a member of one, you're a member of everywhere. They're not differently owned, different market centers. You're in one, you're in all of them. You can use all of them as your own office whenever you want. But a couple reasons we have tons of brick and mortar. One, because real estate, you can do it virtually, but it can be a lonely business when things aren't going good, right? You stare at your own same 4 walls every day. You don't have new ideas. You don't have fresh outlook. Nothing changes in your business. It all stays the same. People like to have a place that they can go and they can participate in company meetings. They can learn new stuff. They can go to education stuff. They can interact with people. They can socialize and network. They can sit in great rooms like this with sales meetings with 80 or 100 agents and feed off the energy of that and get new ideas. People love to have that ability. Even if they're going to go once or twice a month, it's comforting to know I've got an office I can go be a part of. The second reason is you want to have a place that you can meet clients. Like Starbucks is fine, but it's not as good as being able to walk into a professional office, sit down in a conference room, be greeted by a receptionist, and walk in and feel like $1 million when you meet with your client for the first time. Or safety reasons for some of you ladies that are meeting new clients you've never met before. I'd want to meet them in office the first time anyway. I don't know who those people are, right? I like to think the best in people, but you never know, right? So we like to have an office that's comfortable that you can meet with. You can online schedule to use any of our conference rooms whenever you want. You can always walk in and use them, but if you wanted to make sure you had a set of time, you can online schedule and you can have that conference room. Now, if Cardinal Title Group had a closing at the same time, they might bump you, but a lot of times we have 2 and 3 conference rooms, so you'd be okay. You just move to a secondary conference room. So the second reason is people like to have a place that they can meet. The third selfish reason is this. I mentioned that, Cardinal Title Group and the closings there are our lifeblood financially as a brokerage. Well, when I was coming up, 10 years ago, I might have been working hard. We're in Chantilly right now. So Alexandria, about 45 minutes or an hour away. I'm working hard. I'm showing a bunch of townhouses. We ratify on the hood of some car somewhere, and we're fired up. And then I write in there, we're going to close at Cardinal Title Group. And the buyer's my confidant. They're like, all right, Donnie, let's do it. Cardinal Title Group. And they'll ask, or the listing agent would ask, they'd be like, all right, Donnie, where's Cardinal Title Group? I'd say Chantilly. They'd be like, come on, Donnie. We can't go 50 minutes away for closing. You got to find something to be more reasonable. Well, I realized that was a big ask back then. It makes people go 50 minutes for closing, right? So if I've got 21 officers or 25 officers or 30 offices all over the metro area, the idea is no matter where you're writing that contract today, you've got an office 20 or 30 minutes away that you can, A, go write the contract, not on the hood of a car, but in an actual office, or 2, you can perform the closing. We have Cardinal Title staff at all these locations. We can perform Cardinal Title closings at all the different locations. So it becomes easier for you to better service your clients and give back and use both companies. Use those same comfortable processors and the same comfortable title company you're used to using. So we have offices all over you can use whenever you want. I'm going to show you how to access all those offices later, whenever you want, wherever you want. We also have drop-in desks and printers available at all the different locations. So you can always drop in, use any computer, meet with your clients, do whatever you want at any of the computers at any given time whenever you want to drop in. If you want to rent a private office, they range from $250 to $450 a month, depending on how big they are. If they've got a window, the big fat corner, one of the corners, $450 a month maybe. The guy in the interior without windows and a little bit smaller, less square footage, might be $250 a month. Most of our locations, we have some availability. Some might be sold out and you get on a wait list. We also have opportunities for you to get in there and get a private office if that's available, if that's important to you. The next thing down our list there is that we give $500 recruiting bonus. So it's a $250 for each of the recruitees, first 2 transactions. So we do give, we don't have a built-in system where you can make tons of money off recruits because we don't make a lot of money off each transaction. But we want to incentivize you to get your name out there and try to get people in the door to meet us. Sliding over to the top of the next thing, you see that it says 3,000 realtors and growing. We're actually at about 3,100 as I say this in the middle of March 2020, which is fantastic. We had 918 people join last year. And in the last 12 months, we've had over 1,000 people join. That's pretty awesome. So far this year, we've done 325 people in 2.5 months, which is an amazing pace. If we keep that pace up for the rest of the year, I will probably drop dead. So if I do drop dead later in the year, know that I predicted my death on this film for you. Okay, so I got a good giggle out of the bath, so that was worth it. It was worth it. Hopefully I do not drop dead, and I'm still fearlessly leading you all when you watch this video. But I'm very thankful for that. People say, oh, it's all this growth, it's just a number. Look, the number's cool, and I'm excited about the agents that have joined. But really the coolest part about it to me is this, and sincerely is, that 86% of those people that joined in the last 12 months were referred by a Samson Properties realtor. It takes a lot to step out and tell your buddy, hey, you need to come listen to Donnie. You need to come to a lunch and learn. You need to hear a video. You need to come meet with him. You need to consider joining this company. Because that means you're validating, you're vouching for it. That means you like that our realtors like where we are. You know, they like it enough to tell their friends to come join us or listen to us. And that means a lot running a company that people like you enough to hopefully tell people that they need to come consider it. So I'm very thankful for that. Every 2 weeks at our company meeting, we stand up. We introduce the 50 or 60 new people that have joined in the last 2 weeks. This morning we had 67 people in 2 weeks. That's insane, by the way. But 67 people. And the coolest part about it is how many of them, because it shows in there who referred them and how many of them were referred by current realtors. And it's awesome. So we're really thankful for that. We're thankful for our growth, but more thankful that people our biggest recruiting base is our current agents, which is awesome. And it's actually why the numbers continue to grow so much, is that as we grow, it's more and more people that are liking our company, and more people that are reaching out telling people to join. You know, when you only had 1,000 people, you only have 1,000 people telling people they should join. When now you have 3,000, you got 3,000 people that are telling people this is a pretty cool place to join. So it's feeding on itself, which is really awesome, and I'm very thankful for that. The next thing down is you see a couple charts. This is always a little bit of a sticky part of my presentation, because I don't bring up the charts to talk about other brokerages in any kind of disparaging way at all. I really like to focus on what's positive about us and how we're doing great. But depending on where you are, we might be a very comfortable brand to you because you're close to us. You might be in an area that we're just emerging of and you haven't heard a ton about us yet. So that's why I bring up these charts, to show you kind of where we stack up around. Last year in 2019, we did 8,125 transactions for over $3.4 billion, and that's without new construction. If you put that in, it'd probably be about 8,800 transactions and $3.8 billion in sales, which is awesome. It's up about 35% year over year from the last 3 or 4 years in a row. It's phenomenal, and I'm really proud of our realtors and all the good work they're doing and how we're growing. The next chart down there shows this. It shows number of transactions in 2019 in the Northern Virginia, from the top of Northern Virginia down like about the Fredericksburg area. So what does that show? It shows all the Keller Williams franchises together, all the brokerages together, and how many transactions they did. Then it shows all the Long and Fosters together and what they've done. And then all the RE/MAXs together. So we know there's 10 different types of RE/MAXs in that Virginia area, but I've lumped them all together for argument's sake, that whole brand. Anybody with the first name RE/MAX. So they're third in transactions in Virginia. And then fourth is Samson Properties, which is pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool for the little engine that could, if I step back for a second and think about it. You know, a couple years ago, we were probably 7th, 8th, 9th. I got a little smile out of Katie on that one. Once in a while, I introduce a new one. The little engine that could, that was a new one. Katie's had to hear my spiel a few times. So I get a smile out of her, it's big. So a couple years ago, we were 8th, 9th, 10th. You know, to see us moving up all the way to 4th in all of Virginia in transactions in Northern Virginia in the last year is awesome. And we're coming for those top couple spots. We're growing every day. So I show that to just show that we are a big brand. You see all the names behind us: Century 21, Pearson Smith, Redfin, Coldwell Banker, Weichert, Berkshire Hathaway. A lot of national brands and name brands that you wouldn't believe that we've done a lot more transactions than in the last year, which is really just a testimony to my great realtors and how hard they're working and their great success. The next chart shows the whole DMV area. So I show you that because maybe you're in DC or Maryland right now. You're like, great, who cares what you are in Virginia? Well, in the whole DC area, from just about south of Baltimore, where we stretch to all the way down to Fredericksburg, we are 7th overall in brand. A couple people move in front of us: Coldwell, Century 21, and Berkshire. But that's for the whole DC area. Now, why? Because we're barely a blip in DC, and we're growing like a weed in Maryland, but we just kind of got there really in strong force about 2 months ago. We went from 2 offices in Maryland to, well, we had 1 office 3 years ago. We opened National Harbor just over 2 years ago. And last year we opened Bowie, Waldorf, and Columbia all last year in 2019, all in Maryland. So we're growing like a weed in Maryland, but it shows that we're up to 7th now, and I'll bet you we're 6th, 5th, 4th in no time in the whole DMV area as we move into DC and Maryland in more force in the coming months and years. So I'm really proud of all of our workforce, but I wanted to kind of show you if we're in areas that you're like, well, how big of a brand is that? I don't know if I want to go to a little small brand. I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden we became a big fish in this little sea that we're swimming in. So I'm super proud of all our realtors, but I wanted to kind of show you where we stood as far as transactions in 2019. And hopefully that'll look even better in 2020 when we pull that up.